we're joined by Mr. Ashraf Al-Ashry, Al Ahram's managing editor. Thank you for joining us here on Qnews. Sir, firstly, let's start off by asking what are the immediate humanitarian impact of the Israeli airstrike on a school sheltering displaced civilians in Qnews?
Absolutely, what happened is a systematic war by the Israeli side, killing the maximum numbers of the Gazans in a bid to pressure the Palestinian side, along with the Palestinian people, to go out of the Gaza Strip and to have a surrender to the starvation war that been shifted to traps war in order to killing more, in order to let the horror and starvation to go into their hearts and to pave the way to Israel to have a complete control of the Gaza Strip after they've already occupied more than 80% of its territory. So there is a genocide war by that led the killing and also due to the starvation war that led to the killing of more than 31 Palestinian people. And that led to the UN organization to call upon for forming an investigation committee. So this lead is to change the compass by creating a new reality of a comprehensive war.
So, sir, how does the closure of Gaza's humanitarian foundation and distribution centers affect the delivery of aid and civilian access to food, given the crisis and the fact that aid deliveries in general have been almost completely cut off to the Strip?
Such organizations and the GHF is a failed organization in the provision of the food supplies to the Palestinian people. Such a foundation's purpose is just to make the Palestinian to specific centers of gaining food in order to allow the Israeli armies to target them by killing them. They banned the delivery of the food under the pretext of to rearrange its priorities in distribution, and even the food they provide aren't enough that do not fulfill the needs for only or for rather one single family. In addition, they are resorting to discriminate or the disappropriationist of selecting to those who are in need of the food that shouldn't be affiliated to Hamas. In addition, for the Palestinians themselves move to the north, that traveling more than 35 kilometers per day to only get a small portion of food that isn't enough for one family. So there is no mechanism, even the members of such organizations and its chief had been, or rather, already resigned before.
Okay, well, sir, under international humanitarian law, medical staff and hospitals are to be protected during conflict. But again and again, we've seen the targeting of health facilities, and this is obviously a war crime. Will there be any consequences to this, or is it just going to be swept under the rug as we've seen for the last maybe almost 2 years now?
Unfortunately, the international humanitarian law are faced by no abidement by the Israeli occupation forces. Fortunately, all such international humanitarian laws are frozen as Israel has been given a, a green light to mess up with the fate of the Palestinians, and even following the Witkoff's initiative that would require an amendment, and even the Security Council took a decision of ending the war that was blocked by the American veto. So these laws aren't inactive due to the political cover by the United States, its military support to the Israelis, and that led Israel to refrain the entry and delivery of food and medicine for the Palestinian people. That would show that he is already crippled before such a comprehensive starvation war and along with the genocidal war due to the Israeli pretext and oppression in the Gaza Strip.
Okay, that was Ashraf Al-Ashry, Al-Ahram managing editor, who joined us from Cairo. Thank you for joining us here on Q News.